So, my name is Monica, and I run a company in France called the 40-Hour Kitchen. And my husband and I run food and painting, foodie and painting holidays here from our house in the south of France. And I am carrying on the theme off the back of his painting workshop yesterday, which was based in Greece, in Simi. So today is the launch of the taverna in Simi, and we are going to be doing souvlaki. We're doing chicken and lamb souvlaki. I'm going to be making a tzatsiki, and I'm going to do some sort of Greek roasted potatoes. So we're keeping it pretty simple. I will probably serve our lunch with a Greek salad as well, but I'm not actually going to demo that. I'm sure most of you out there know how to make a Greek salad. In any case, let's get cracking, I think you said. Okay. All right, to start, it's not going to be, I don't think it'll be a very long workshop today, but we are going to get started, I think, with the tzatziki. First thing to do is, I'm not going to be using the whole cucumber, but I do like quite a lot of cucumber in my tzatziki. I think tzatziki is one of those you just kind of do to your taste. So the first thing I'm going to do is de-seed my cucumber. The main reason I'm doing that is actually the seeds hold loads and loads of water. So what you're doing is, by leaving the seeds in, when you're using English cucumbers, these seeds are really, really soft, but they've got a lot of moisture in them. So you're just going to land up with quite a sloppy tzatziki, which is not what you want. I just realised I need a little spoon. And I'm going to just scrape these down.
Cue close up.
Which is basically scrape it out like that. I find by dividing them into quarters, it's the easiest way to get to the seeds. There we go.
I'm going to have a word with our nephew about putting some music together, darling.
What?
Some royalty-free Mediterranean cuisine music. So
it's going to have to be pretty all round, as it were, because Mediterranean covers a lot of different regions.
That's fine. He likes a challenge.
Excuse my back to you. And then I am actually just going to grate this in. Again, you might have noticed with the English cucumbers, I'm actually not bothering to get rid of the skins. They are fairly soft and they're not bitter, but that is your choice. Some people prefer to peel their cucumbers. And I would say if you're using the shorter cucumbers, I definitely would. It will be way too bitter, and they tend to be a harder skin. Okay. Now I'm going to grate two, and I'm actually the other two little pieces I'm going to just cut up.
So you're kind of avoiding getting the skin in there?
No, not particularly. If I'm fine if some of the skin comes in, as I said earlier. The English cucumber skins are fine. But I've got a bit of skin in, so this one I'm just sort of grating around the skin of it.
Well, the cooking fans are pouring in, and we've got Vanessa, of course, from Doha, who is poised to make a Greek meal for her family later on this morning.
Hi, Maisie. They're a little later than us. They probably...
That's nice.
Just going to give that a bit of a mix. And then I'm going to cut the rest up, dice it finely. Okay. I quite like having a mixture. It sort of gives it tzatziki a little crunchiness. So the yogurt I used about, again, it all depends on how much you want. If you're just using it as a dip, then just make a small quantity. Otherwise, I have been known to make about 500 mils, but this is about 250.
So Jan and Martin signed in. Also
Hi, Jan and Martin.
painting Greek one day and cooking Greek the next.
Well, I hope that you guys have still got gorgeous weather like we have, because we are actually doing part of this live in the kitchen, and then we are moving to some of the people who are watching will be a familiar scene. So I'm just going to mix this up, and the next thing I'm adding is a little bit of mint. You don't want too much, probably 3-4 leaves maximum. So some tzatziki recipes don't have mint added. I am adding mint to this because I like the freshness. I think it just gives it a lovely fresh flavour.
So are you a particular fan of Greek food, darling?
Am I a particular fan? I love
Yeah.
Greek food. I
Yes.
don't know why. Greek food has, well, I suppose it was the first holiday, big holiday I did with our parents. I went to Greece with a then boyfriend, and we travelled around the Greek islands and sort of landed in Athens, ferry hopped over towards Turkey, hopping from island to island, and then kind of went in at Kushadasi, which is near Ephesus, and made our way up Turkey into Istanbul, and then a 24-hour bus ride from Istanbul to Athens. Oh my God, it was hell.
Jeez.
It was hell. It's like, you know, there's some memories from one's youth which just become golden. The memory of a very large, fat man sort of
Was that your boy?
pressed onto my lap for most of the night because he was so heavy that.
Was that your boyfriend?
That the seat basically was sitting on my lap, and his bald head was
nice.
sort of resting on my chest.
I hope you
was not the best memory of the holiday.
But more importantly, can you remember the food? You do seem to have a great memory for food.
I mean, I mentioned it last week. I mean, for me, I think we were doing it that holiday. We were doing it on such a budget. So the memory of food is largely Greek yogurt and peaches, which was just fantastic. Oh, there's something, talking about Greek yogurt, one thing I wanted to mention about Greek yogurt. So you get Greek style yogurt in a lot of the shops, which here is yogurt à la grecque. Otherwise, you get Greek yogurt, or here it's yogurt grec. And they are different. The one is done in the style, it's just not quite as creamy. So if you can't get real Greek yogurt, which I have managed to get on this occasion, then I tend to add a little bit of creme fraiche to it to add that extra creaminess. So far we've just got a bit of cucumber, a little bit grated, some of it finely chopped, with some mint, and I am now going to add a clove of garlic, which I'm going to, in this particular case, I'm going to press, because what you don't want is a big sort of chunks of raw garlic. You know, I mean, I'm one of these people, I don't believe that there can ever be too much garlic in a dish if you're cooking it. Raw garlic, it can become quite astringent if you have too much in food. So we'll put, and a smallish clove, you don't want it to be too big either, and we're just going to press that through. Now the reason I'm making this first as well is I find that tzatziki is one of these flavors, the flavors in it kind of develop, and then I'm actually going to add, this is what I tend to do as well, I'm going to add a gallag of olive oil to this.
Got a hi from Val in Australia, who's just tucking into a dinner of bangers and mash.
Very English, Val.
And also hi from Eric Smith, he's also watching, trying to track us down. Hopefully he's got here in the end.
Yeah, the yappy one's in front of the camera today. Okay, and I'm just going to now transfer that into a slightly prettier bowl.
So this is something you tend to make in advance.
Yeah, I mean, the great thing about tzatziki is it actually keeps really well. So you can do a batch and use it during the week. It doesn't all have to be used at the same time. But it is one of these things you can easily make if you know, I mean, we're actually having people over on Sunday for our first bit of social distance socializing. It doesn't really sound right, does it? Social distance socializing. Physical distance socializing. And we're going to do a braai, and I'm actually going to use some of the things that I'm doing today. So I will actually probably make my tzatziki the night before, and I'm just going to put just for prettiness sake, a little, you can show that, a little drizzle of olive oil.
Lovely.
And I'm going to put that back in the fridge. If I was keeping it for more than, now, like half an hour until we serve it, I would actually put it in a plastic container so it doesn't pick up that sort of frigid flavour. Okay, next thing's next. This is way too simple today. But I think it's
early
really
lunch. That sounds great.
important to show simple food as well, because I think people need to learn that making good food doesn't always take hours and hours.
That's my kind of food. Hi from Mac and Linda, who are still sobbing over the fact their holiday in Greece was cancelled. But this is a good compensation, painting and eating in a Greek style.
I must admit, I don't know if you guys felt like this, but yesterday when I was watching Simon's picture develop of Simi, I literally felt like I was being transported to Greece for an hour or so.
I thought you were going to say traumatised then.
I wish, this sort of visually, you kind of need to smell the smells with food for the transportation to happen.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know, Simon, you like that. I mean, I find that food, the smells of food and the flavours of food really take me back.
No, absolutely. I mean, I love the smell of a Greek restaurant, that kind of grilling lamb. You have to make a man screech to a halt.
Well, it's almost better, isn't it, if you can kind of almost smell it from the beach that you're lying on.
Yes.
The Greeks do that incredibly well, is that we do a lot of pop-up restaurants in France during the summer, which are great. Loads of little beach bars, but they're very much just summer restaurants. But the Greeks actually have permanently little restaurants. And there's always, every beach virtually will have something at the top of the beach. And as you're lying on the beach in the morning, as it comes up to lunchtime, you can actually smell, like Simon says, that sort of the sizzling meat.
It's and most like
of the time, and a lot of those old ones as well, everything was being cooked on fire as well. So the smell was so immediate. And I think for me, memories of Greece, it's definitely food that gets cooked outside. You don't want to just shove it all in an oven. Any case.
So what have we got now?
I've just wedged these potatoes, and I am literally just drizzling with olive oil on them, bit of salt and pepper.
Mm.
Well, starting with the pepper, bit of salt. Okay, and a little bit of rosemary.
Final touch, of course. Let's see that. From the garden.
From the garden, yes. We have a lovely rosemary bush in our garden.
Well,
it's one of these things that even grows in England, I find. But it's amazing. Again, talking about flavours of the Mediterranean. You realise why these flavours of the Mediterranean exist, because these are literally the herbs that grow. If we walk out into the Garrigue, you find wild rosemary, you find wild thyme, sage. These things grow on our doorstep. But this one grows in my garden. So I'm going to shove this in the oven, and hopefully by the time we are finished grilling our meat, that will be done. I'm just going to cook it on that. I'm just going to take a sip of water. It is really warm here today.
It's going to be even warmer because the grill has been on.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's about to explode. Is it okay?
It's fine. It'll be fine. Okay. So first things first, I'm disappearing into the fridge. I did this earlier. So instead of making you guys wait, I actually marinated my chicken and my lamb. So for my chicken, I use chicken thighs, which I just deboned and then cut into strips. The reason being is because when I'm grilling these, I really like the flavour of the skin on it as well. I think it adds so much flavour to it. But you can use chicken breast. It's really not a problem at all. So instead of having to debone the chicken thighs, at least you can get hold of deboned chicken thighs. Just go ahead and use chicken breasts. These have been marinated in lemon juice, a bit of olive oil, some garlic, a bit of rosemary, some salt, a little bit of pepper. And I literally, the easiest way when you're making any sort of marinade is just put it in a glass jar and then shake it up. It's the easiest way to get all of the ingredients to mix. Then my lamb, I've actually used a lamb shoulder. But again, you can just buy lamb chops. That's the easiest way of getting. Try and get something a little bit fatter if you can. But if you can't, you can just kind of cut them into smaller strips and then double them up. And I am using skewers from, I'm using proper metal skewers, but you can use, if you haven't got metal skewers, bamboo skewers are fine. But the big thing is, especially, well, even if you're doing them in the oven, you need to soak them for about half an hour to an hour before you actually put the meat onto them. That actually prevents them from just turning into cinder in your oven or on the barbecue. Because otherwise, you'll suddenly find the little pieces of meat dropping down and disappearing. But I make a lot of sort of souvlaki. Now, souvlaki in Greek actually means skewer. In South Africa, we tend to call them tzatziki, which I think comes from the Indonesian. There's quite an Indonesian influence of food in SA. And kebabs, whatever you want to call them. I like the metal skewers. It means we can use them over and over again. And a tree didn't die for this. I'm just going to quickly wash mine. Now, traditionally, I'll be back. Traditionally, you don't actually put vegetables on Greek souvlaki. But because we're not eating these in pitta with tomato and onion and tzatsiki and stuff, I actually quite like adding a few Mediterranean vegetables. And I also think it's great for colour. So I'm literally just going to add some pepper. And I'm going to add some big
Sorry, I've just had to... we did import some Greek flies just for the atmosphere. And there was one crawling across the screen and I belted it and wobbled the film. Anyway, carry on.
And it's also a good way of getting some vegetables in. So, all of the above. Just make sure that you get rid of your membrane. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to have made extra meat because I'm actually going to keep this marinating. So with marinade, you really need to marinate it for a minimum of an hour. But marinade's one of these things, the longer the better. So again, if you want to do your marinade the night before, and then you can just put them onto skewers the next day, or if you want to do it in the morning and you're doing an evening barbecue, right? You can do that. I am actually going to be keeping some of this for my fry on Sunday, and I will actually freeze it. I'm going to put it in the freezer, and I find it really sort of fuses the flavour into the meat. So quite a large little chunks of
closer with a chunk.
Well,
so just red. You wouldn't choose any other colour.
You can put other colours on if you want. I chose
because it matches your top.
Yeah, I'm all red today. You see, I got a new scarf. I got a new lockdown scarf.
Oh, yeah, there we are.
I managed to get to the material shop yesterday. I'm making a dress for a friend of mine. Well, in fact, you met her last week, Isla, who is the winemaker, or her and her husband make wine together. And it's her 40th birthday next weekend. one of the strings that I have on my bow is many years ago I studied fashion design, and I'm designing a little summer dress for her, and I'm going to be making it for her as her 40th birthday. Oh, Simon says I need to speak louder.
And there's a hi from Tina Lyle, who's also dropped in now as well.
Hi, Tina. So Tina is a friend of ours from here, and she's a fantastic musician. And right up to lockdown, she was actually a percussionist with Van Morrison, and of course, like so many other artists and performing artists, especially, everything came to a grinding halt. So I'm going to put a big appeal out to everybody to support your performing artists as best you can.
And artists.
And artists, yes. For us, it also came to a grinding halt, didn't it, darling? So we're all trying to be as ingenious as possible and get our names out there. So now I'm going to start threading my kebabs. Let me just give my hands a wash again. Sorry, complete silence.
A rare moment to enjoy.
My poor husband. Oh my
God. Marilyn Aberdeen is watching as well. Hi there, Marilyn.
Hi there, Marilyn.
And we will make it. We will triumph, says Tina.
Okay. So get ready. So I'm going to start with meat. And I'm just going to actually do these like this so that for me the skin side is out so that it crisps up on the barbecue. And then one of them I'm going to add a bit of what's it called? Onion. And
next.
And then back to chicken. If I could actually get it through.
On your fingers.
Okay, and then I'm going to put on a pepper.
So how many skews are you going to put together this morning?
I'm only doing a couple.
A couple of each? Or just one of each?
I might actually just do one of each.
Yeah, okay.
And I can share one each. This is going to be our lunch. Very French, big lunch. We've actually started eating more big lunches, haven't we, since we've been here? Mainly because we are self-employed, and I do normally do my cooking at night and we eat leftovers the next day. And
so you were
to chicken.
Oh yeah. I was going to say you were thumbing through a certain famous chef's Mediterranean cookbook yesterday and getting very excited. So we got a kind of Mediterranean specialities lined up for the summer.
Yeah, I think we were talking about in the painting live yesterday that I think we're going to go to Italy next, and then we will. I love Italian cooking as well. I must admit, it's I think it's weird. It's I think Italian cooking just plays with so many flavors. So just alternate it basically. It's pretty easy. And then we will finish with something red. There we go.
Okay, great.
Chunky piece. I'm just going to take another sip of my water.
Me too. Drift over here.
See, if we were doing this all professional, all this sort of stuff would be edited out.
But no, we like the full thing here.
So the lamb shoulder, the reason I use lamb shoulder is I quite like the meat to have a little bit of fat on it again. Same as, I think it adds flavour. It, again, we're just alternating.
We've got the thumbs up from people about going to Italy next. They're already dusting down their phrase books off the bookshelf. We had to go learning Italian. We were thinking of moving to Italy once, weren't we?
We were, yeah. It was the original destination.
Yeah.
And then Simon, I took Simon sort of, I think, no, you've kind of done a lot of Italy, haven't you? But you hankered after the northern Italy because of when you lived in Germany. You used to sort of zip over the border. Or was it Austria that you?
No, it's in Germany. You used to live in Munich, and you could drive on a miserable May morning over the southern Alps, Bavarian Alps, and drop down to Lake Garda for your lunch by the lake under the palm trees. It was just amazing. But of course, when we went to visit Lake Garda, as part of my promotion, let's live in this area, Monica. Of course, then it was a freezing cold trip, busy traffic from Milan to the lakes, and it generally got the thumbs down, didn't it?
I loved it. I mean, we went again in the summer afterwards, didn't we? We met my brother and his family in a unique campsite, which even the luxury version of my brother and sister had, my brother and sister-in-law had rented a sort of a caravan instead of having, because they were flying over. And cousin Lizzie was
unforgettable.
Was a unique affair, wasn't it?
Mm.
But no, I love Lake Garda in the summer. But I think it's always good to visit a place in the winter. If you're going to move to another country, you know, when we moved to France, we actually came here at the beginning of winter, and our big reasoning was if we made it through winter, we would make it forever. And I think summer memories are just different. You know, holiday memories are different. If I'd gone to Lake Garda, we thought of moving to Lake Garda after going there in the summer, I probably would have jumped at it. But the reality was in winter, it's a valley. And you see for half of the day, the sun disappears by 12 o'clock. You know, and there's a sunny side of the valley and there's a shady side of the valley. And you suddenly find yourself sitting in quite dark shade for large periods of time, and it's just not quite so romantic.
No, I think we made a good call.
Yeah,
but why hasn't the chef got a glass of wine? That's what we're getting here.
Why has the chef not got a glass of wine? Because it's 11:30 and the chef has to work this afternoon.
So outside are we going? Okay, I'll follow you out.
I've got a pattern to draw up this afternoon, which is a little bit technical. So we are walking through. This is kind of our bike room.
Yeah, let's stay here now. Okay, right. We've got a road bike and a couple of mount. Oh, sorry. Okay, out into the.
Okay. I definitely don't have to be worried about this not being ready. And what I realised, I forgot to bring smokers.
Oh, great. And I realised. Let's hope the lighting lightens up.
There we go. So I'm doing this on just a gas griddle, or as in France they would call this a plancha.
That's a bit of kit.
You can do it on you can do it on a normal gas barbecue, or if you wanted to, you could do it on fire. This time I'm not. We use this a lot at lunchtime. It's a great little piece of cook. It's kind of just really, really instantaneous. But if you don't have either, you can do it in the oven. So basically, put an oven tray in with ideally a rack or something, and then put your grill on and put this pretty close to the grill, and you'll get very much the same sort of sensation.
I live in the garden and the sound, and Sandra's on as well now.
I know, it's lovely, isn't it? So this year...
Is Monica a bit shady, everybody? It's gone a little bit shady from me, but hopefully you're getting the atmosphere. Do you want to go and get that grill, the canipers?
Can you keep people entertained?
I'll keep people entertained with a close-up of some skewered chicken and lamb sizzling away there. Let's have a quick panorama of the garden. There we go. Down the bottom of the garden. And look at the colour of the sky. Millie, here we are. Make an appearance. Subdued lighting. Okay, great. And looking back down to here, and here's the chef.
And the non-South Africans in the group.
That's it. If you stay in the sun, that's quite good.
The non-South Africans in the group will probably say, "What the hell is a kneiter?"
Yes.
So they pincers. To kneip in Afrikaans means to pinch. So pincers, or as I would call them, knipers.
So basically, you're just
what we're going to do is you just brown them off, and then slowly turn them. But you can see how lovely the skin is going, and the skin is going to go really, really nice and crispy, and it's going to keep that flavour in as well. Simon?
I need my gimbal.
Simon had gimbal envy yesterday.
Gimbal envy, yes.
Says the Pope to the Bishop. Was
Hey?
one to the Bishop. who speaks to the Bishop when it sounds slightly rude?
It does a bit. If the Pope's talking to the Bishop. Hang on, let me just settle down and that's it. You stand there with the sun in your face, and then
yeah,
it can...
so then I'm squinting it.
That's all right. We like it.
A gimbal is a great piece of. It's like a tripod that you can put the camera on, and it kind of gives you a steady.
It's kind of gyroscopic, isn't it? Yeah. Meanwhile, back on the grill.
So I hope you can actually smell this sort of aroma of lemon
I
and
can.
garlic
And so can Millie.
Yeah. Millie's going, chicken, it's my favourite. Our dog absolutely loves chicken. Not that we cook her large portions of chicken. She just gets, the little knuckles and stuff that are left over when we have finished eating. Hi, Moose. Hello, Mamumu. Do you want chicken for lunch? Hey? Do you want chicken for lunch, my sweetie? Oh, my darling.
Is this what we're eating with Sandra and Mark on Sunday?
This is what we're eating with Sandra and Mark on Sunday.
She'll be pleased to hear that.
I'm quite happy to just sit and listen to this little...
That's right, yeah. Let's just leave it. Let's just put this on the tripod. I'll nod off. Pour some wine.
A little bit of silence. It's novel, isn't it?
But I mean, you could fill up this grill with quite a lot of skewers, couldn't you?
We could have had another 6, another 4, 6 altogether, 6 to 8 skewers easily.
And so, I mean, this looks pretty easy to make.
It is. It's really easy to make. I mean, that's the whole thing. Cooking isn't hard. Good food and tasty food. I mean, that's what's so great about a lot of Greek food. It's actually really, really simple. It's to me, I don't know, simple's good.
I'm just going to swing around. Oh, we've got vine stuck in the camera now.
Weird how all of that stuff died after the rain, hey, love?
Yeah.
It's all the little things, not the main grass. It's the little ones that come up. I think it's just got too heavy, and I think they broke off. We need to remove all of the little. Simon can show you the little buds.
What have we got? This is effectively a little pergola we've pergola we've built.
It's a pergola, yes.
And the idea is to build a lot of natural shade, which works really well. But what we have to do is kind of remove all these little. Basically, these aren't the grapes, are they? These are the.
These aren't the grapes. Well, these are the flowers that will then become the bunch of grapes. Because I mean, you can actually see the flowers are kind of in bunches,
Yeah, yeah.
So that will then become the bunch. In the same stalk. But the reason people are going, oh no, why do you remove them? It's we just don't want it to become a wasp trap. This is an area we sit in. So as the grapes ripen, unfortunately, they tend to attract a lot of wasps. And I'm allergic to wasps as well, which doesn't make it any easier.
Okay, so this is all going well. How long do we generally leave these on?
So I always say, I mean, the meat is cut into pieces, so they don't take much more than sort of 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
If you are cooking these on fire, because they've got quite a lot of fat in, the fire will tend to flare. So it's always a good idea to have a,
Get a bit closer.
it's a really good idea to, oh, my nose is suddenly decided to. It's a really good idea to have a bowl of water or something to hand that you can just shake over the flames just to get them to flare down or dampen down. Flare up, dampen down. Monica, cooking and English.
Well, everybody, you'll be pleased to know it smells absolutely delicious. It's working.
You know, all I want to do this afternoon
Yeah.
is lie back cool.
Do you know what?
Don't even go.
No can do.
We kind of did yesterday, didn't we? We had a sort of bizarre day yesterday. We got a phone call from a friend of ours, and he's the marketing manager for a large wine kind of chateau estate, which is normally a sort of hotel and self-catering houses and stuff. And of course, because of lockdown, everything's also come to a grinding halt for them. And he said, oh, the gardens are looking really, really beautiful. They're going to do some drone shots and some videos and photography of some of the units in the garden. They asked whether they needed some bodies, didn't they?
That's right. And we were those bodies.
So a whole group of us went. We were all sort of sat in different units. So speaking to each other over the fence, a bit like normal life at the moment. But it was gorgeous. It was really nice just taking a little bit of time out for 5 minutes. It's something I really advise people to do, you know, just seeing the countryside from a different perspective. It was just lovely, wasn't it?
It's great, yeah.
These places are amazing. I mean, a lot of them actually have their own pools, and the biggest one actually has this amazing infinity pool that overlooks the vineyards. And it's just, at the moment, it's just a carpet of green. It looks absolutely incredible.
Cool. Well, I mean, do you want to call that, is this where he's got to fade out now? Music, credits, and we chuck into lunch? Or what?
I think it probably is. You know, I don't think you guys, I will post some photographs, I think, of the last, of the whole dish finish, because otherwise you're going to be just sitting listening to me inanely speaking. But I think the big thing was, you know, even if, I know I did a bit of pre-prep for this, but if you bought chicken breast, you bought some lamb loin chops, and you just chopped those up and marinated them an hour before you were going to make up your stews, your souvlaki. Keep it easy. You can literally get this whole dish up and running within, you know, I know it's kind of in real time, it takes an hour, but I mean, from cooking time to pretty well eating time is half an hour. So we're going to keep this short and sweet today. Enjoy your lunch, everybody, and thanks for watching. And again, just an appeal to everybody, please, if you're enjoying these lives, share them with as many people. Share them on your Facebook page when they have, if you go to our Courtyard Kitchen page after this, the live will actually be there. Please share it on. The more views we get, the more people get to know us, the more people come on our holidays.
That's right.
Which is what this is all about. Thank you so much. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers for now. Bon appetit.